A continuation on project proposal lecture 3. Our focus will be on writing a concept note, how to do budget allocation and resource planning, knowing how to start, identifying the resources, knowing the direct and indirect cost involved, the project management structure, monitoring and evaluation. Then annex. Write a concept note. Purpose. A concept note is a brief outline of your proposed project. The purpose of a concept paper for the funding agency, it is to help applicants develop more competitive proposals and to save time by eliminating proposals that are not likely to be funded. For the applicant is to capture the interest of the funding agency and demonstrate that the idea they are proposing is worthy of further consideration. Therefore, the first sentence of a concept paper are very important. You have the funding agency representatives or board members to continue reading. Length and format of the document. The length and the format for writing a concept note actually depends upon the donor agency. Usually, donors do not have a format for a concept note as they have for a full proposal. Most donor agencies request a minimum of 3 pages to maximum of 5 pages. So the shorter the better. Template. We have title. It should be snappy, informative and distinctive. It may be divided into 2 parts, with the first one being short and catching the reader's attention, and the second one more serious and informative. And secondly, we have the background. Include your problem and its analysis, together with the following 2 guiding questions. Why is it crucial to address the problem identified? What has already been done to solve the problem? Objectives, that's the third. They should relate to the more general aim as previously agreed and entered into the local action plan. Output, which is being the fourth, they should be directly related to the project objectives. Typically, they are tangible items, such as a newly constructed technical facility, the publication of information, materials or events such as workshops or stakeholder meetings, depending on the project in question. Tangible items might also be mentioned, such as a rise in awareness. Fifth, activities and duration. A summary of the planned activities to achieve the project objectives should be included here. Beneficiaries and impact. This session will be important for getting buy-in from the donor. It should contain the expected benefit, both in quantity and quality terms, and when and where they will occur, the underlying assumptions and the reasons why these benefits can be expected for a specific group of beneficiaries, considerations concerning how and by whom the impact will be assessed. The seventh is project management. This session should explain how the objectives will be achieved and how the project will be managed and evaluated. It should become clear who will lead the project and what roles, the responsibilities the various people in charge of tasks such as financial management, monitoring and evaluation will have. Then we have budget. We will speak later on how to develop a budget. More tips. Don't overwhelm the reader with details. Consider your audience. Consider your language. Only include budgetary information if it is specifically requested. Appearance is important. Identify a door opener if you are not writing your concept notes for an announced call from the organization. Avoid wide submission. Planning. definition of planning. A budget is defined as of expenditure and revenue over the life of the project. Realistic planning of finances is key to the implementation of a project or program. Generally, the budget has mainly two functions. It estimates as realistically as possible the cost of completing the objectives identified in the project proposal, and it also provides a means to monitor the project. How to start? Before drawing up the budget, it is necessary to get an overview of the type of inputs needed to achieve the objectives of the project. Typical categories may be, for example, people, travel costs, vehicles, equipment, consumables and supplies, subcontracts. Budget allocation and resource planning. Identifying the resource. The table below clearly explains identify the resource. Direct costs. Direct costs are all those eligible costs which can be attributed directly to the project and are identified by the beneficiary as such in accordance with its accounting principles and its usual internal rules. Direct costs can be personnel costs. They should reflect the total remuneration, including salaries plus social security charges. Travel and subsistence allowances. First, determine what travel expenses the granting agency will allow and and then itemize the cost of each trip. For example, round trip airfare, lodging and meals, taxis, visa, etc. Vehicles. Usually, these costs will be included in the travel and subsistence item. Durable equipment. Any item which will retain its usefulness beyond the grant period is considered capital equipment. Consumables and supplies. Stationery, duplicating supplies, typing, computer supplies. Indirect costs are all those eligible costs which cannot be identified by the beneficiary as being directly attributed to the project, but which can be identified and justified by its accounting system as being incurred in direct relationship with the eligible direct costs attributed to the project. Indirect costs are also called overheads. Indirect costs typically are costs of operating and maintaining buildings, grounds and equipment, depreciation, general and departmental administrative salaries and expenses. Library cost. More tips. It is important that the budget is realistic. Before preparing a budget, determine what would be an appropriate amount to request. The numbers should be specific. Your planning should allow for contingencies. Some donors require that some part of the cost of project be borne by the applicant institution. Project management structure. Hierarchy of all persons involved. The project visual explains who needs to report to whom in the project and who takes directions from whom. Provides for arrangement to be established to ensure there will be effective coordination within the project with other relevant programs and activities. The structure may include the following: steering committee, project auditor, project manager, project coordinator, team members. A brief description should be given about the steering committee, project proposal, the individual roles each one will assume, Attach other relevant documents like CV to them. This monitoring and evaluation. This refers to mechanisms and procedures to ensure that activities occur as planned. They remain directed towards stated objectives. Appropriate corrective action is taken if required. This section of the project proposal shows when the project management team will conduct activities to monitor progress, which method will be used in the monitoring and evaluation process, who will do the evaluation. Annex include all the information that is important but too large to be included in the text of the proposal. Analysis related to the general context, policy documents and strategic paper, information on the implementing organization, additional information on the project management structure and personnel, project management procedure and forms. Thank you for following us today.